makes me sick. These kids painting rocket ships all over his sacred resting place.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back. The new Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Man, has finally released on Netflix. And I will say, out of all three movies, this one has to be maybe my least favorite. Not saying that it's bad, but it is my least favorite of the three. Just because of some things that happened in the film. It seems a little bit, how do I put it, predictable. And my girl and I, we called almost everything in there. It was still entertaining to watch, and a lot of things that happened, we were like, oh man, nice. So it was a very good movie to watch, but it was very predictable, and in my opinion, the weakest of the three. So directed by Rian Johnson, Wake Up Dead Man, as I was saying, is not a terrible film, but I do believe it is the weakest of the three just because of the fact that once it starts and we start getting into things, you can kind of tell right away what's going on and who is somewhat responsible for certain things. And even if you kind of misguessed one thing, you definitely are going to know based off the way how the story goes and the way how people play their characters. And it's not a bad movie by any means. Basic synopsis is there is a murder. Father Judd is accused of it, and he has to clear his name or find a way to clear his name, and that's where Benoit Blanc comes in. The nature of the story just goes a little uphill, because I like the way how they incorporated the church and the papacy and everything that goes on with that, but a little downhill because the story was pretty bland. And if you continue to watch and you get to a certain part where you see that the certain things are starting to get revealed, you're like, okay, but I kind of wish that it was the other thing. Like I wish that they went a little bit of a different direction, and the misdirection that they used, well, I wish that that was actually the case, because we kind of wanted someone else to be guilty, like not wanted them to be guilty, but we're like, it would have been cool if this person did it, and so it was a good movie because of what it is, but it could have been a lot better. Daniel Craig comes back as Benoit Blanc, and he does a great job in all three movies. He's probably the best parts of all three movies, in my opinion. Josh O'Connor, he comes in as Father Judd, and he did a great job too. He made me laugh a lot, and he was very good with his acting and his emotions and integrating the boxing into his character and everything. So he did a great job, and I really liked him in this movie. Glenn Close graces us in this movie as Martha Delacroix. We have Josh Brolin, who is Monsignor Jefferson Wicks. Mila Kunis is in the cast as well as Chief Geraldine, chief of the police department around there. She surprised me with her role because normally she plays like that goofy slapstick comedy person. It doesn't matter if it's like a serious movie or not. And that character was kind of in play here, but she was a little bit more serious all around in this movie. And I did enjoy watching her as this character because I did like that she was a little bit more serious. Yeah, there were times where humor was implemented, but it wasn't forced, in my opinion. It didn't seem forced. Like it was natural, and I like the way how she portrayed this character. Jeremy Renner plays Dr. Nat Sharp, a very interesting character. He's a little bit of a drunk after what happened to him and his family, and he goes through an interesting arc throughout this film. There's some stuff that is a little bit predictable in this movie, and once you start the movie and get to like the end of the first act, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. It's pretty much like, oh, okay, I know who did this, that, and the third, Kerry Washington plays Vera Draven, and anything Kerry Washington is in, she does a great job, and she gives 110%. And this character is a very interesting character to see because she kind of gets things thrown on her, especially when it comes to family and finances and a lot of things, and she is a very stressed out character, but she still is somewhat nice and tries to do everything she can do and that she has to do, but she will tell you like it is. No bars held, bro. Like she'll lay down the law and then some, so watch out. Andrew Scott plays Lee Ross, a writer or publisher, and his character is kind of hit or miss for me. I feel like if you took him out, it wouldn't really affect the story in any way. And it's kind of sad to say because there's some other characters too that if you kind of took them out and just rearranged how things happen, wouldn't really affect the story that much. And I hate saying that because I love this franchise, the Knives Out franchise. When the first movie came out, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. It's still my favorite to this day. There's a few instances where I've seen where if they just kind of took these characters out and had like some other characters do something similar, wouldn't have really affected the story or the movie that much. Cailee Spaeny plays Simone Vivain, a kind of a rich person, and she is paralyzed, and she goes to this church seeking healing through Monsignor Wicks. Her character arc is a little different, but if you know the nature of what is going on in the film, as you will find out, then you will see that, you know, her character is pretty cut and dry, and how she is later on, it makes sense why she is the way she is and says the things she says. And I mean, I don't blame her, and I don't think anybody really would blame her after going to a church and doing all that and seeing what happens. Daryl McCormick, he plays Cy Draven, who is the younger brother of Vera Draven, and his arc is an interesting one to watch because of the nature of him getting dropped off at Vera's door, her just having to take on this kid that is her brother or half brother, and it's a lot for her, and he's a little bit of a snob. You will maybe like his character or maybe not like his character. I kind of hated his character from the beginning, and definitely later on. It's just, like I said, it's predictable. Like I called a lot of things with my girlfriend, we called a lot of things, and we saw it happen, and we were like, I knew it. Like, I knew it. Thomas Haden Church, sad man. He plays Samson Holt, kind of like a groundskeeper on the church. He's an interesting character. He doesn't really have that crazy of a role in this movie, and I would say that his character was fine. Again, if they did something different with another character and took him out, as much as I love him and I love him as an actor, wouldn't have really affected the story much. So that's kind of what goes into the whole, like, I think this is the weakest of the three, because there's a lot of things that they didn't have to put in, a lot of people they didn't need to really use. The story kind of just went in a way that seemed a little bit turnabout, so kind of just regurgitating itself a little bit. And then we have the great Jeffrey Wright as BP Langstrom, someone who is within the papacy, a little bit higher up in the papacy, and deals with Father Judd, and kind of has, I wouldn't say a liking for Father Judd, but a respectful tolerance for him. The length of the movie has no real relevance. I mean, it could have been that long and it's fine, but it's just that there's only so much you can do when it comes to murder mysteries, but you can do them in a interesting way, a fun way. This movie kind of lacked a little bit of that oomph when it came to the reveals and everything. Like in the first and second one, like the reveals were kind of like, oh snap, hey, oh wow. Especially the first one, that was amazing. I wish that they kept the same formula, but at the same time, this was an enjoyable movie to watch. It's a good popcorn flick. I'd say if you want to have it on in the background and do something else, as much as I hate saying that about watching movies, you wouldn't really miss much. Like, you could kind of pan over a little bit and see, but you wouldn't really miss much. I hate to say that. There's not really that much else to say about this movie. It wasn't top notch, but it also wasn't bottom of the barrel terrible. I would say if you're a fan of this Knives Out franchise, you'll enjoy watching it, but you will feel a little bit dissatisfied solely because the tone of the film and the nature of the things that happen and the predictability of the film. I know I said that quite a bit of times, and there's a reason, because as soon as you get through the first 30-45 minutes, you're gonna be like, okay, predictability. So I mean, it's a great series of movies. Now that all three are out, you know, I'll probably watch all of them in succession and, you know, see how I feel, give it another watch. Maybe I'll like it a little bit better, but overall, it's not that impressive to me, but it might be impressive to other people. So, you know, if you enjoyed it a lot more than I did, hats off to you. If you saw some things in there that, you know, resonated better and explain a little bit more why the movie is good, like, to you, I would love to hear what people have to say. But overall, I was just kind of not that impressed with this one. Once again, thank you for joining me for this video. Sorry it's a little long, but just gotta get these thoughts out. You know the drill, the like button and that subscribe button, and please leave a comment down below in the comment section. Thanks again for watching. Until the next one.